We are live. Time for a new season of change. Hello, my beautiful cousin, Kenya, making the best cakes and confections ever. I'm so proud of you. All the way from the ATL. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking about this full moon in Aries that's coming in next week. I wanted to give you time to get your rituals planned, get your home saged and cleansed. You know, it's important to continually sage and cleanse your environment. So we are entering this new season of change. And April is always a very high spiritual time. This is one of my favorite singing bowls. It's Sedona Rose Gold. It literally has the clay of Sedona, which is very grounding and very healing. It also has a lot of fire energy into it because Aries is a fire sign. So just take a moment to tune in. We're going to cover a good amount of information today because April is such a sacred, sacred month. And we'll talk about why. And with Aries, we're still in this beautiful Aries season of action. How's everybody doing? I hope everything is going well. So full moons are a culmination point. Full moons are about releasing and letting things go. It's about looking back to a degree to see what you need to clean up. And then the idea is the full moon shines a cosmic spotlight on things that you need to see that may be hidden to you. So this is the pink moon. This moon is coming in on April 5th. Pacific Standard Time at night. So depending on where you live, it'll be April 5th or April 6th. So it's coming in at 9:37 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On the East Coast, this will be about 9:37 a.m. So in the wee hours on the East Coast. So this pink full moon of spring is called the awakening moon because the awakening evidence in the natural world mirrors the spiritual significance of this full moon, therefore marking a season of rebirth. So we are fully in spring. So this is a very high spiritual month, as I said. The ecclesiastical full moon of the northern spring, it is used to determine the date of Easter. So the name Pascal is derived from Pascha, a transliteration of the Aramaic word meaning Passover. So we have 3 major religious holidays happening this month. Everybody's familiar with Passover. You know, the Jews commemorate and celebrate the exodus and freedom from Egypt and slavery. So it's celebrated on the first night with a Seder, which is a special family meal that they gather together. We're also celebrating Easter this month. Christians celebrate their belief in the resurrection of Christ. It's a Christian tradition that holds that the sins of humanity were paid for by the death of Jesus. And we're still celebrating Ramadan that started in March. Muslims observe Ramadan for a month that Allah, God, gave the first chapter of the Quran and fast. They abstain from pleasure and they pray to become closer to God. It's also a time to abstain from eating, to be reminded of others who are less fortunate, and to be grateful for what you have. So 3 beautiful traditions that are in the month of April. And this is why I always love April. I grew up Catholic. We eventually became Baptist, but I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. And so for me, this is a very somber and very gracious time in my life. So let's talk about this full moon in Libra and Libra energy. Libra, the mantra for Libra is I balance. The key word for Libra is relating, diplomacy, and think relationships. The power for Libra is harmony. The sign of Libra embodies the themes of justice and fairness, peace-loving, social, cooperative, loving, gracious, balanced, harmony, fair-minded, and intelligence. So Libra, the two scales, are always trying to seek a balance in life. Like their fellow air signs, Aquarius and Gemini, the energy is always concerned about equity and balance for everybody. It's energy that's concerned about the self and the collective, because Libra is also a sign that governs beauty, love, and friendships. So when you think about, again, this full moon, will have 2 weeks to capitalize on this energy. So until we get to the next new moon, but we have 3 days. When this new moon comes in on the 5th/6th, we have 3 days to capitalize on its peak energy. Think relationship goals. What is it that you want to achieve in your relationships? Relationships of all types, whether it's be financial, political, partnership in business, personal. And think about all the relationships that you want to build. Think of the word co-creator, co-producers, because the idea is we are co-creators, we're co-producers with universal divine intelligence. This is a time to step into your hero and be a pioneer. When you look back, we look back to this time, space, reality, we can look back and feel proud. And that's what I love about the Aries energy, is that it's helping to fuel, literally to light a fire underneath us so that we are able to keep going and run with that momentum. What did you stand for? What did you create? You want to look back during this time and say, what did I create? What did I stand for? How did I help shift myself and humanity? This truly is a dynamic time to be alive. All the spiritualists talk about the codes changing on the earth, and we are really in a transformation on this earth, the mindset in this planet. We're actually entering a different episode for humanity. So the idea is step into your whole being with force and with momentum. So during this time, whenever Libra comes in, Libra is the opposite sign of Aries on the wheel. So these two are always going to be partnered up. So Libra during Aries, you could look at it as masculine versus feminine. Aries is the masculine, Libra is the feminine. And the idea is masculine energy is very restless right now because it's been in charge for thousands and thousands of years. So it's having a hard time kind of trusting in the feminine energy to take over and to move back into a more balanced space. So wounding and healing will be occurring in the masculine and feminine energy. This is a time for the masculine to surrender more to the divine feminine energy, like caring for the planet, being open and honest and inclusive with everything for everybody. Flory, oh my goodness, all the way from my beloved Switzerland. Oh my goodness, Flory, so good to see you. Thank you for joining. Other people are mirrors during this time. So the real work starts for us when we are in a relationship. Relationships show us, tell us, and allow us to be able to see our evolution. So you could say, I want to be more patient, I want to be more loving, I want to be more kind, I want to be more generous. But it's hard to be that way if you don't have a mirror to test it out. So other people become our mirrors. How do you know that you've been patient or you've grown in patience if you don't get to test it out? So March, April, and May are considered game changer month. So I don't know if you guys felt it, but I felt a shift beginning to occur in March, especially with the last week of March. You could feel the energy literally rising and moving in an upward motion. So we've got April and May that are going to be game changer months. Aim high, aim higher than you ever have wanted to in your life. Aim for love, aim for peace, because I am convinced that the one thing that everybody on this planet wants more than ever is peace. When you think about it, when you're at peace, peace brings everything, because peace keeps you open. You're not blocking yourself. You're not blocking energy by being afraid, by being worried, by being dissatisfied. Peace keeps all the channels open. So this moon is no exception, as it challenges you to manage your desire for companionship with your need for independence. So again, the two sides of Libra wants to be in a partnership, because it's an air sign. It also wants to be free. And this is a metaphor that should occur in all relationships. When you love somebody, the song comes to mind, when you love somebody, set them free. Either way, set them free if the relationship isn't working out, so that they can be happy, because ultimately we want ourselves and others to be happy, but also striking the balance and not losing yourself in the relationship. Our connection to others and relationships are always at the forefront during a full moon anyway. So it isn't a surprise, but it'll be more noticeable during this time of this full moon in Libra. Welcome, Haley. Hi, Haley. Haley's an amazing breath work and Reiki teacher. I did some amazing events with her. She's a great, great soul. Thanks for joining, Haley. Because you'll have heightened awareness for your emotions, you'll have incredible clarity about any inequity in your partnership. So this fire of Aries is going to light a fire and illuminate your relationship statuses of all types. And then you're going to start to search and look for where things are out of balance, because remember, Libra energy is about balance. So we're entering a different episode for humanity. So step into it with your whole being in force with full momentum. So let's talk about the numerology that's happening during this full moon. I'm using the date of the 6th because it comes in the evening in Pacific Standard Time, but on the East Coast at 12:37 a.m. So I'm going with the number 6. So I'm using 4/6/2023. That equals an 8. So this information, I love, again, Kathy LaDonna. She has a channel called Soul and Vibration. I love her. She's my numerology go-to person. She said the 4th month, the number 4 deals with security and stability. So here we are in April. Aren't you looking for security and stability? Don't you want things to kind of be hunkered down a bit? And she said you can tell if your security is weak based on the stress in your life. And I love this. You can tell if your security is weak based on the stress level in your life. 2023, as we've been talking about all year, is a reflective and introspective number. 7 also kind of slows things down on a financial point, because 7s are not about materialism. 7 is a spiritual teacher. It's a very high spiritual number. So it's not going to be concerned about materialism. It's going to be more concerned with being happy, being satisfied, and being at peace. The day adds up to a number 8, which is all about tangibility. Both the number 6 and number 8 and the number 4 are relationship orientated. 6 is the number of unconditional love. 8 is infinity and is divided by 4, so that equals a 2. 4 is feeling grounded and secure. But number 8 helps us to focus so that we're not oblivious to what's happening around us. This can be the reason for our success or our demise. The number 8 also deals with systems. The idea is, do you have the right systems? Do you have the right organization in place? Success is actually a system. All the successful people talk about having a system, having a ritual, a flow of things that they do every day to lead to that success. Being on this day means a system that we need to have in order to see our success. That was a mouthful. So what approach is necessary during this energy of 8 that we need to garner? 8 is an action word, so it's going to have you move. So this is the 7th of 7 full moons that occurred at 16 degrees. 16 reduces to the number 7. So this is like 777 energy. And 7 in the tarot deck is the Tower card. Now, oftentimes people get nervous about the Tower card because the Tower card brings about change. It can be sudden, unexpected change, but the Tower also can be about new beginnings, like eliminating the old so that the fresh can come through. Now, let's talk about the biggest energetic news happening during this full moon in Libra under the umbrella of the Aries season. April opens an 11 gateway. It's considered a universal month. So this entire month of April is considered an 11, a gateway universal month. 11 is the number of the psychic master. So really dive into your own psychic abilities during this time. 11 is also the master number of intuition. So go with your gut. This is a time to really follow what your instincts have said. So the stronger your core, which is your solar plexus chakra, the stronger that is, the more you'll be able to trust yourself. Why is April an 11 gateway? 4 plus 2 plus 2023 is an 11. Because today is April 2nd that I'm recording this talk about April. 11 is 2, represents double meanings, a beginning, and it can represent an end. We're also going into a solar eclipse this month. So later in the month, we will have our first solar eclipse of the year. Aries, as I've said before, is the first sign in the zodiac. So this number 1 really attracts fresh CEO, bossed up energy. So the idea is take a leap and go. The solar eclipse will emit an 1111 code because it happens at the very end of Aries. So the very end of Aries, when we're leaving Aries season, will be at 29 degrees. 2 plus 9 is an 11. So again, coming into this code. So do you want to fire up new products, new ventures, new things, new plans, new places? What is it that you want to fire up during this time of Aries? The opportunities are numerous if we just meditate, we kind of pray, and we bring ourselves into our complete wholeness from the inside out. You have Mars, so Aries is governed by the planet Mars. So Mars energy gives us the courage to bring our realities into fruition. 11 brings the light. So we've got Aries energy with the planet Mars, giving us the courage, the fuel, and the fire. And we've got number 11 bringing in the light. It's equally inspired to be present and to really tap into our intuitions. So the full moon in Libra means our ability to relate to everything. Librans love to relate to everything. They always investigate, study, and they look at all sides of an issue, a situation, even a person. Our full moon deals with things coming to an end or either evolving to the next level. So a full moon asks us to let stuff go so that something fresh and new can come in to take us to the next level. When the full moon comes in, the sun and moon are at opposite degrees of each other at the exact degree. So it's an important time to look at the duality, the yin and the yang of life. Aries is super focused about the self. Aries is the I am energy, okay? So this is about a time of staying true to ourselves and not caving or sacrificing ourselves in order to relate to others. So during this Libra energy, Libra can tug at us and make us want to do more and be more just to satisfy others. We've got that Aries fire kind of reminding us to stay true to ourselves. At the end of the day, we teach people how to treat us. So sometimes when we get in a new relationship, we, as they say, our representative shows up. And so you're hanging out with this representative for month after month. And then after a while, when you get comfortable, your true side comes through. And so then when you're becoming your true self, the person feels like, what's going on? You've changed. You haven't changed. You just stopped faking the funk because your true identity starts to show up. So this is a reminder to stay true to yourself. The biggest challenge of things right now is just letting go, because Aries likes to have things their way. So during Aries season, it's very dogmatic, very headstrong energy to get things their way. So be mindful of that. So a lot of times too, Aries is impetuous, so it jumps out there. So it's the idea that we see things in a relationship, a person or thing that we want to see. We want to see it. So seeing potential in another person, seeing what we want to see, but own that it's you choosing what you want to see. Being willing to walk away from something that you relate to so much. Libra can be energy that straddles the fence, because Libra, again, is all about balance and equity, and it wants to make sure that both sides, that they're benefiting from both sides of the coin. So the idea this time is make a decision, make a solid decision. The blessings, releasing and letting go does not, letting and releasing things go that aren't working for you at this time. We are a mirror, like I said, and we need others to see if we have actually evolved. So what to do during this time? Do you really relate to your art? So questions, questions, questions. Libra is very intelligent, is always asking why, and very curious, and won't make a decision until they have all the information. So this is a good time to ask, do you relate to your work? Do you really relate to the people who are your friends? Do you really relate to where you are living right now? Be open to accepting that you don't have the answer. Ask, what is being made visible in my life? Focus on what comes up and say to yourself that things will be far better than you imagine if you just lean in to that intuitive guidance that's coming up. Attend a full moon circle. It's a great time to attend a full moon circle. Hey, LS, all the way from Seattle, C-Town. Thanks for joining. So good to see you here. It's a good time to gather with people during a full moon and a new moon. Full moon in particular, I think it's a great time. When two or more are gathered, they say miracles can occur. And what is a miracle? A shift from your perspective, from fear to love. You know, from destroying to building, if you don't like fear or love. It's a great time to make amends with relationships. With any relationship that you have an outage on, make amends with that relationship. It's a time to reflect on the imbalances that are happening and do an inner gut check around all of your relationships. This pink moon is, again, a good time to convene with nature, because it's called the pink moon because it's recognizing the shift and the beauty of nature in the springtime that's coming through. So get out hiking, sitting in nature, taking walks, because this is a really good time for an energetic reset as we go into this new spring season. And watch things as they begin to fall into place. The more you spend time with nature, the more things will start to fall in place. It's a great time to have your heart's heart seek clarity. What is it that I need to see? What is it that I need to know? Again, this is warrior and pioneering energy. So stay in your own bubble of peace while also integrating and supporting and working with others. So energetic update. As I said earlier, this is a very spiritual month. We've got Ramadan, we've got Passover, and we've got Easter coming through. So 4-5 to 4-13, Passover. 4-9, Easter Sunday. 4-5, the full moon in Libra comes in. 4-19, the new moon in Aries comes in. And this is crazy because this would be the second new moon, the second consecutive new moon in Aries. So if you didn't take advantage of the energy last time and you didn't capitalize on the fire from March with Aries and that Aries new moon in March, you get a second chance this month. We have a second new moon in Aries. So again, take advantage of this energy that Aries is bringing to us. 4-19 through 20, we have a solar eclipse. So 4-19 or 20, depending on where you live, but it'll be at the peak at 6:19 Pacific time, 12:16 Eastern Standard Time. So when an eclipse happens, it is said that the moon kind of covers the sun. The moon doesn't necessarily cover the sun. Astronomers say what's happening is we will see a ring of fire around the moon when this eclipse comes through. So an eclipse is about bringing things forward, reconciling the past and things like that. On 4/20, Taurus season begins. So again, coming into this fiery energy of Aries, Taurus is going to close out the year with a very solid grounding energy. And Taurus is a sign of abundance and manifestation. So again, get your house in order, get your plans in place during this month of April. And on 4/20, Jupiter changes signs to Aries. So we are going to have so much Aries energy. We're in Aries season, a second Aries new moon. And then on the 20th, in Vedic astrology, Jupiter changes signs and goes to Aries. And it'll be in Aries until May 1st. So this is important. Again, Jupiter is the planet of generosity and goodness. It's considered the planet of abundance, to bring optimism, growth, materialism. Jupiter is a very kind and beautiful planet. So the fact that it's going into Aries just equals more energy and more momentum. And lastly, 4/21, Mercury will go into retrograde in the sign of Taurus. So we go into Taurus season on the 20th. The next day we go right into retrograde with Mercury. Again, more reason to use these next few weeks of April to get everything lined up. So again, don't be afraid of a Mercury retrograde. Retrogrades are just a cosmic pause, is how you see it. It's just a time to reflect on how you have been being for the time ahead. So how have you been being for April? Are you headed in the right direction of where you want to go? So it's just an energetic pause to have us look back, reassess, and go all the way back to the beginning of the year. From January to this point, am I where I need to be? So again, we have been retrograde free of any planetary retrograde this entire year of 2023 thus far. So really take this time to get going and literally light a fire, light your life a fire, and bring in all the energy and opportunities you've only been dreaming and imagining. And hold space for spirit to surprise you, because sometimes our dreams just aren't big enough because of our fear. But again, with this Mars energy coming through from Aries, Mars will give us the courage to keep going, okay, and to step out. So as we think about this full moon in Libra coming in on the 5th or 6th, depending on where you live, it's almost Aries versus Libra. So Aries is leading, Libra would be delegating. Aries would be acting, Libra would be negotiating. Aries would be doing, Libra would be being. So Aries would be resisting and Libra will be surrendering. So it's a beautiful dance of this divine masculine and feminine energy actually working together, because Aries is a fire sign. So think about it. Libra will be sending and fueling your life with this much needed fire. I think of the crystal carnelian, because carnelian, carrying it, holding it, sitting on it, praying with it, putting it in your bra, your pocket, really helps light and ignite the fire because it's associated with creativity. So I close out with this quote from an astrologer that I follow. Her name is Pam. And she says this, I think it's a beautiful way to close out this topic. We are absolutely in the crucible of the shift from the old world to a new world. Don't give life support to what we absolutely don't want. Focus all of your love, your joy, your attention, your creativity towards creating something way better for you and others. Remember that astrological influences are modeling clay to mold into something better. So again, God gives us free will. We have a choice. So anything, astrology, numerology is just another type of tool, but we ultimately get to decide. And the decision maker is if we are truly coming from our authentic selves and we're coming from a space of love and kindness, it will always work out. So I wish you blessings. Get your rituals prepared for this full moon in Libra coming in on April 5th or 6th, depending on where you're located, 9:16 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Create a circle, create a ritual, play music, pray, journal, walk, whatever. Thank you again for joining me for this full moon in Libra. I look forward to seeing you in the next video when we cover this next new moon in Aries. Have a fabulous Easter, Ramadan, Passover. Sending you blessings, love, and light from my heart and soul. Namaste, everybody.